Hello everyone, my name is Athena Weathers and I'm going to review a story that I wrote called In the Eyes of the Disabled. So here we go. To whom it may concern, the ADA, or the Americans with Disabilities Act, was passed 30 years ago, but many of you still don't know what it is like to be disabled in America. We are now experiencing a peak era of social and racial reform. We are being called to address issues of inequity in America. As a disabled woman myself, I am in a unique position to bring these problems facing my community into the light. First, I'd like to share a little background about myself. I was born with cerebrovascular disease, which resulted in me having 2 strokes at birth. I have a type of cerebral palsy called hemiplegia, which prevents me from fully using the left side of my body. I have always seen myself as a normal person, well, as average as anyone who can't use the left side, one half of her body can be. I grew up in a town which valued sports and athleticism over anything, but being disabled, I was not able to play many sports and games throughout school. Now I am a sophomore in college, and I am deeply involved in student government. As a part of the new generation of adults, I have seen flaws in our judicial and social world that need to be remedied. The ADA helped establish necessary access for people in the disabled community, but there is still so much work that can be done. The words separate but equal can echo back to the days before Martin Luther King Jr. and the Civil Rights Movement. But as history has shown, however, separate services are rarely genuinely equal. The ADA had been passed to protect alter-abled people. Unfortunately, this is only a skin-deep solution. Although now we can take public transportation, use the same restrooms, and have the same access to public buildings as the rest of the population, this country's disabled citizens still continue to struggle with important services. Many people believe that we should be happy with the way that things are. But how can I be satisfied with? However, if I am expected to be delighted with the way things are, then when will real change happen? Then the true problem lies with the perception of us by able-bodied people. On the disability spectrum, we have a hierarchy based on how normal our outward appearance presents itself. We are not judged by our intelligence or our ability to contribute to society. Rather, we are conditioned from a young age to conform to able-bodied standards. Trying to pass, we ask ourselves, why couldn't we be born like everybody else? Our families and friends try to understand our altered journey. Outside of our inner circles, we face discrimination because our society doesn't consider us worthy. The definition of ableism, discrimination in favor of an able-bodied person, seems straightforward enough. Well, most of you probably have never heard that phrase, ableism, before. From birth, able-bodied people across the other side to constantly avoid us. I assure you, we don't have some sort of zombie virus. We are poked and prodded to find a cure for what ails us. It's true that some of us need medical support to be our fullest selves. But what we need even more is for society to reconsider who we are. Some of us were born without words, others without limbs, yet all of us offer something to the fullness of life on earth. We are a silent army with an invisible voice of millions. Our existence doesn't need your approval, but you are missing out on something until you put aside your ableistic views and accept us. But it has not always been this way. In the days of old, disabled people were revered as gods, bathed in sweet scents and spices. Then in the medieval ages, we were known as the consorts of God. Unfortunately, when World War II commenced, our luck changed for the worse. Then the world ushered in an era of terror for my people. That we were used as lab rats, so experimented on, trying to find a cure for what infected us. Many of us were casualties of this process. The rhetoric changed. The rhetoric used to describe us changed we went from divine imports to pests to be exterminated. I invite you to reconsider how disabled people are treated today. I've experienced lifelong oppression and discrimination as a result of my condition. I say no more. No longer will I will sit idly by watching my brothers, sisters, and genderqueer compatriots be tormented and tortured by their peers. We're segregated out of certain activities because society won't find a way to include us. We are criticized for not holding jobs because no one is willing to employ us. Yet I ask you, is there someone better suited for this job, or is it merely more convenient not to hire us, not to hear us, not to see who we really are? Now you can do something about it. You can hire us. You can hear us. You can see who we really are. Because who we really are is an amazing community with people who have people with so much to offer. I take back these 3 words, reclaim them, and wear them with pride. Because yes, I am disabled.